Yo, what's up, guys? I'm Jason here with Francis and Blair.
Hey.
Yo.
We're three guys with some serious issues, talking about some not so serious issues.
Last time I assigned Blair and Jason a topic, and it was performance enhancing drugs, and I made Blair for them and Jason against them, and they have to argue it no matter what their alignment personally. So I think Blair wants to start us off as usual because he's opinionated.
I always have an opinion, and everybody wants to hear it. I don't know if "want" is the right word, but they're going to.
Do you want that to be your tagline? I always have an opinion. Everyone wants to hear it.
Okay, so we watch professional sports. We watch the Olympics because we want to see freaks, and like they're freaks. They're either huge or they're tiny or they're oddly proportioned to make them better at their sports, and they're insane. They're not normal people. And so I think we should allow them to have drugs to like make them even more freaks and even more not normal people. That's what we want to watch. We want to watch freaks do insane things that we can't do. So I think we should let them take performance enhancing drugs.
No.
What do you know? No, it's immoral.
No. I don't care about morality. It's just, they can be dangerous.
Oh yeah, they're dangerous people. They're freaks.
Yeah. No, not the people.
There's reasons why they're banned, and they shouldn't be allowed.
They're banned because they work.
They do work, not denying that. But they're not good, and they should be banned.
Solid argument.
Okay, so I want to see the All Blacks be allowed testosterone and growth hormone and EPO. Give them whatever they want to take. Like, they're not normal people already, but we can give them stuff to make them even more freakish. Like, that would be a cool game of rugby to watch. Like, watch these, like, ginormous, even more ginormous freaks, like, just smash each other on the field. That would be awesome.
But do you think it's something that you... like, that's advertising. That would be advertising the fact that if you want to get to this level, as a child or whatever, you have to take these drugs. You can't perform at this level without having to take these. So, therefore, there's this... bridging this gap. Like, okay, if I want to do this, I have to start taking these things.
Yeah.
And there are negative side effects, and forcing people into doing that isn't that good.
No, I think that
if you had two classes, you know, like non-takers and takers.
Whoa, what are you talking about?
You know what I mean? Like drug-wise, users,
okay.
non-users, and users.
Well, like they have in powerlifting or bodybuilding already. You have like pro level where they just don't test.
But the thing
And
with
then
that is,
amateur
then
level where
before
they
you're
do.
talking about media and stuff like that, and people watching because they want to see freaks.
Yeah.
You're not going to watch the naturals
No.
when there's the unnaturals.
Yeah.
You know, and then that is just going to die off because all of the users are going to get all the money behind them.
Yeah, that's fine. Like all the conservative Christians like Jason can enjoy their
Here we go.
their like tested and full of rules sport. Like tell them what they can and can't do. Isn't that right, Jason? And then all the like normal people can just watch the freaks. We could call that class like the pros where they take all the drugs. That's the freak class. Wouldn't that be awesome? Like you have the freak Olympics and then the tested Olympics.
I think the issue is if it was allowed, like, I think you'd see organizations set up to invest a whole lot of money in doing more research, basically just putting whatever they can to people to get the best performance at the time. But
how much drugs can we give them that they'll survive?
Exactly, and although they might perform for like a few years, I mean, they won't necessarily care about what happens to them later on.
Yeah, if they perform for that one game, I don't give a fuck if they die a week later. That'll get to that point almost.
Yeah, I think you wouldn't want to kill your star players. Like you
Not while they're playing,
you want
but-
them to. Well, I mean that already
You want to get a good
happens
few
already.
years out of them, man.
Like, they're not worried about what's going to happen to them later in life. They're just like, they'll want people to, you want to win. You want your team to win. They'll do whatever it takes. And
That already happens now.
Yeah, but with testing and stuff, it does limit it. Like, they're not going to go extreme. Like, if anything was allowed, they could be like turning up to play or whatever. I don't know. Possibly there could be like 12 injections waiting for them. They get pumped up, ready to go.
That would be cool. Imagine if you organise sports around the drugs. So like you've got the All Blacks, and like either you have a special sanctioned break, or like you just switch them off for cocaine. Like you have the guy on the side of the field, he's like set it up, he's got the 20 rolled up and ready.
What a cheap ass using a 20.
The guy subs off, like does his line and subs back on. That would be a fucking awesome game to watch.
They'd have snorting
Like,
breaks, bro. Like,
oh yeah.
you call a timeout, they'd walk out with a tray.
Or like the boxers in between rounds. There's the guy with the ice pack and the guy with the Vaseline, and then the guy with the pee pipe. That would be some cool sport.
I mean, those are mind-altering substances, but I don't know if they would actually improve performance.
That's not performance enhancing. That's
Oh, we don't know because we haven't tried. Like, we should try that, and we can see if it's safe, and we can see if it makes cool sport.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably watch it, but that's...
Yeah, like that'd be cool.
I think that's what makes sport a viable
It would
career
kind- it
option.
would
is
kind
by
of ruin
people
it as
watching
well.
it.
Yeah, I mean, I doubt that would actually work.
No, it wouldn't.
Like, nobody wants to see half your team die of a heart attack from cocaine.
What if it gets to the point, though, where to win, you have to go that little bit further, and that just what they're putting into people
and that's what it's always going to be.
is so much more, and like they know it's going to kill them, like in possibly 15 years or something, but they're going to do it just to win. Like, people would still do that, and it's sort of, I suppose...
It's encouraging the use further down the line as well. It's like kids see these guys and then they know that they're on that stuff. So they're like, oh, I want to be like that, so I'm going to start it early. And
I think-
it just fucks them up sooner.
To an extent, we're already there. Like, the US weightlifting team, they're probably clean because they get tested all the time.
Clean.
Yeah, but you go to China or Russia or something, they know when to stop their drugs.
Yeah, because they know when their test is coming up.
Yeah,
and stuff
and
like that.
you have whole teams that get banned from the Olympics because they screw up that timing.
Yeah.
Like, it's happening. Everybody is sure that it's
So you
happening.
think just take the veil off
Yeah,
and just let it all be known?
just let them do it. It'd be safer. You'd have more testing, and it'd be freaking cool. Like, the Americans would then have a chance at weightlifting. They're probably like.
But if you were stricter on the whole idea
Yeah.
of it all, then everyone's on the same playing field.
Yeah,
You know,
like-
you're not going to have these different strains of steroids, whatever, that did something different, that
Yeah.
did something different, that did something different. If you took it all out of it. But then you're getting into like supplementation and stuff, like where's the line of chemicals and
I think it's
shit like that.
His name's John North. I think it's John North, the weightlifter. He says that America has the best clean weightlifters. And they don't win any medals.
Yeah.
Just let them do their drugs, and you'd have more competition. It'd look awesome.
You keep going back to look, like to the from a viewer's
Sport
standpoint.
is a spectacle.
Yeah, it's a spectator thing.
Yeah.
That's where any money is.
And
But when it comes down to the people performing it, they shouldn't have to take it.
they don't have to.
But that's where it'll lead to your sort of idea.
They'd have to
compete.
at all.
You
'Cause you're saying America's got the
already
best
have
ones.
like genetically gifted people.
Yeah.
Like that's the number one marker of will you do well? Like, do you have the genetics?
Good for them.
Yeah. Like Francis could maybe be an All Black, not Jason.
Oh,
Throw them on the wing, bro.
It's not gonna happen.
I could bulk.
You could be a hooker.
They'll like break you in half.
Yeah. I mean, I might run pretty quick. If they're chasing me, they're pretty big.
The other direction, eh? Yeah.
Yeah.
You
And,
would run
like,
towards them.
If Francis's life goal is to be a marathon runner, it's gonna suck. like Francis
not
is
gonna
just
be
gonna
easy.
have a bad time.
But I wouldn't take drugs to get there.
Well, see, that's another aspect. I think is in some sports it might be safer to take some drugs. Like if I want to run a marathon, I might take some drugs to
It's
be
like
safer.
cycling as well, like long distance cycling.
Yeah. I think you would set up safer drug regimens.
Yeah.
And
If it was all open, you could have it almost, what's the word? Like, controlled by the bodies of the sport saying, okay, these are the guidelines around it.
yeah, and you'd have an actual doctor who's administering your drugs, be they like steroids or cocaine. Like your doctor would.
You're liking this idea of cocaine, eh? Like, what's the
I
actual effect of cocaine?
I think it's like an increased heart rate.
You think?
all that
Okay.
sort of thing. I haven't looked it up.
You just think,
But, like,
like, it's a cool idea. That's what
You'd
you're getting.
you'd have your doctor. He like measures it out. He hands it off to the guy, and the guy like sets his line up, rolls his 20 up, and he's ready to go. As opposed to just like some guy in a locker room who's like, "Yep, bend over. I've got your steroids ready for you." And you're like, "What are they?" It's like, "I don't know. They make you huge."
Yeah. Going right in your ass.
Would they? Would they still just sort of increase the genetic potential though? Like, if you're still genetically good at something, would they not just increase that in the person? So you've still got genetics to
You still
deal
got
with.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're still going to have that same gap. If
Yeah, like-
everything's the same.
Yeah.
No amount of drugs is gonna turn like a skinny, weedy marathon runner.
So you don't
What do you
think
keep talking
Jason's
about
going
me?
you don't think Jason's going to get to Ronnie Coleman size?
No, like no amount of drugs is gonna get him there.
Doubter's gonna doubt, eh?
Yeah, he's going to hate.
You're gonna need the genetics there, and then all the drugs to like bump it up another notch.
But you could like what Jason just said, like the gap is still going to be there.
Yeah.
So then why take the drugs if the gap is still there?
Well, because you'd have like the second best guy with the second best genetics. He gets the right drugs, he might still win.
Might.
Might still win.
Mm.
But second best genetics is still a whole lot better than average.
That's
So another issue is as well, like, if it comes, like, the drugs and research can be quite expensive, and it could
Unethical.
leave out a lot of poorer countries out of the Olympics, like Ethiopians
Yeah.
and stuff. Like, it's a poor country. Like,
They're-
no, they're good at
that
running. That's just an
Ethiopian
example
weightlifting
because
team.
Yeah.
they're good at running, and
Yeah.
with like performance enhancers, it could make potentially anyone have an advantage over them. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, they're already there. Like, a rich nation, he can build a altitude chamber that he can sleep in. Whereas some poor country guy has to build his own shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
but
there's a guy out there running with no shoes. And there's a guy out there sleeping in a $20,000 altitude chamber. Who's got like a $20,000
And that's him
watch
trying to
that-
bridge that genetic gap.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
it's not a fair playing field.
but it could just make it even worse. Like, they could still like run up a mountain or something and sleep up there or something, get to the altitude.
Yeah. Or you could take some EPO and like just chemically get there. The thing is, it's not a level playing field. The argument is no drugs, level playing field. It's a farce.
Genetically different, but what you're putting into yourself can all be the same from that. Whether
Yeah.
they've all got the same restrictions. Okay, you can't do any of these.
Yeah, so there's four ways.
So that's what makes it level.
There's four ways that you can increase your red blood cell count. You can take EPO, you can direct blood dope, you can
What's that one?
sleep. Oh, you remove blood cells and
And
put
then
them back
add-
in.
That one just sounds smart to me. Like, you're not really taking anything bad. You're just
Oh, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
And it's cheating. You take blood out.
but from you,
put
you're taking
blood
it out
back
of
in.
you and putting it back in. It's still
Yeah.
you.
It's illegal. You're not allowed to do it. They could make it legal. And so the other two
They could do that with
ways
anything.
you can
They could make it
But it's
legal.
not a.
live at altitude, or you can make a chamber and sleep at like fake altitude.
Yeah.
It's not a chain. Isn't it just a mask?
You can do a mask or a chamber or different things. So two of those ways are legal, and two of those ways are illegal. So like, where's the level playing field?
Well, it seems like they're illegal because they're dangerous. Is that way?
They're not dangerous.
Taking
Taking blood out and putting it back in is as dangerous as you make it. You have a doctor do it and you're fine. Try and do it at home, bit dodgy.
Yeah.
But like it has the potential to be dangerous, but it's not really.
So you're
there's
advocating
no level
all
playing
of this under strict supervision
Oh, I just think the supervision would be there.
because it's allowed.
But then would
Yeah.
people still not push those limits?
Oh,
well?
people will
always.
push the limit.
Exactly.
People
So
already
you're just
push the
changing
limit.
some rules for
And
other
almost,
rules.
and that limit would almost be pushed further.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that
And the things, and they wouldn't like they'd find something else other than steroids. They'd find like what's that thing that cow has?
That what?
myostatin knockout,
Or something like that. The one
Yeah.
where it's like double muscle.
double muscle cow,
Yeah.
like the
They'll
huge
just like genetically
bodybuilder
dope
cow.
themselves
Cow.
so that they can be double muscle.
Yeah, cows and dogs. They got that like super
Yeah.
muscly whippet.
Yeah.
There's already people like that. There's a toddler who's like
Jacked as
jacked as like a pro bodybuilder toddler.
Yeah. I think I've seen photos.
Yeah.
So
Because they'd have to
impressive.
eat so much.
Oh, they'd be always hungry probably.
Yeah. Like,
Um,
well, he's
the
already.
thing is, there's probably already people that look like that have some sort of knockout like that,
Yeah.
where they have super muscle, and they're probably pro bodybuilders.
Just because it was easy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not easy. It's just easier.
Easy, yeah. Yeah, that's what the thing is. Like, people like this argument against steroids. Like, oh, you're just cheating.
Yeah.
You know, you're just taking those steroids, and that's why you're that massive. It's like, well, I'm taking the steroids, but it's also a shit ton of hard work.
Yeah, like it's probably. It would be interesting to know how much of a gain that gives them.
Yeah.
Like, is it 5%?
What is the difference
Is it
there, yeah.
10%?
Yeah. But
And
I mean, you
that's-
can't. And the thing with the sort of phobia around it all, you're never going to know
No.
how much that actually is because people can't do the tests unless you go to like some country where it is legal.
Yeah.
Are they like countries with legalized steroids?
Well, steroids are.
Oh, like and
I-
as far as like
I think it's actually international law.
yeah.
Like, you're not allowed to do this because it's unfair. So when you.
So, that's when you're competing in an international sport.
Yeah.
But if you're just doing something locally,
Yeah. Didn't you have like a South African friend or something that took something? Or you went to just go to the doctor?
Yeah, a guy I worked with, I think he was in the South African military. And so he went to the doctor and just got his steroids. And the doctor's like, okay, here's your steroids. Why don't we give you some B12 as well? It's like, yeah, sure. He gets 2 shots right in the ass.
yeah.
And
Hey.
yeah, and gets to be huge. And when he came to New Zealand, he went to his doctor and he's like, oh, hey, I want to start taking some steroids again. And the doctor's like, no, you're not allowed. Why not? The thing, he's not competing in anything. Why not just let him be jacked?
Yeah.
That's the other half of this argument, is that drugs are illegal in sport because they're bad and we want things to be fair. But then they're illegal for everyone else. Like, why can't I go to the doctor and be like, I want to be huge? And the doctor says, okay, do some training, here's your steroids.
I don't know if you'd go to like your GP to like, I want to be huge.
Well, I mean, you could have a specialist who
Yeah.
specializes.
Yeah, you go to your gym doctor.
And what was what was it that he had to do to get them? Didn't he go to some like house or something?
Oh, yeah, so he just found a guy at the gym. And
Oh yeah, it just drives it underground.
yeah, it drives an underground. So he goes to some guy in his flat. And he's like, okay, here you go. And he's like, is that clean? Yeah, it's clean. It's dodgy.
Yeah, because at the current point in time, it's almost commonplace in the sport and stuff that it is happening.
Yeah.
So it drives it underground, and it just makes it dangerous. And it's just like, just take away that, and like that what's the word I'm looking for?
Don't know.
Take away that sort of
The
blanket, like I said
Yeah.
before.
So there's no reason why civilians can't just take steroids. Like, they just want to look good. Let them. And then,
I mean, you could do it without steroids though,
Yeah,
and
and it's
Yeah.
also like example setting for like the youth and whatnot.
or the other one is when you get to like 40 or 50 and it starts getting much harder. Just give them steroids. Like,
You see, it's like
you'll-
some of those bodybuilders that you're like, you hear how old they are. You're like, I think you were that old. Like someone like 45, 50, and they're fucking jacked as shit.
Yeah.
And
Like,
do not look that old.
That's going to be really hard for a natural, or
Yeah.
if not impossible.
Yeah.
But it'd be healthier if you could take small doses of steroids at 40, 50, 60.
Yeah.
Look at Stallone. Like, he is jacked as hell at 70.
I don't think he's taking small
Is
doses.
he 70?
Yeah. Yeah, he's like 74
Fuck
or
off, he's
something.
70.
Google it.
He's pretty old.
I'll look at it later.
You
No, I'll look at it later.
Okay, well, he's old as and jacked.
Fucking
He
hell.
got arrested going into Australia.
Yeah.
I think he had like more steroids than the
Than
whole of
clothes.
Australia.
He's got one suitcase for his stuff and one for his roads.
Yeah. Like, why can't people do that? Because it's illegal in sport.
But
So you just legalize
Well, there
it
are
everywhere.
there are other negative side effects to it.
well,
as
I bet he's dependent on them now as well. Like he needs them probably just. To
Oh,
not,
yeah.
just
like,
to function.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
you-
to
He'll
deteriorate.
be like a witch that you put water on if you stop
Yeah.
taking them.
You
Fade
turn
away.
40 or 50. When you start, that's it. You're on them now.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, is there's people that are naturally jacked. What's his name? Art Devaney. He wrote Evolutionary Diet. He's another one of those like paleo guys. He's like 70 odd.
Oh, those fad
and his,
dieters. Eh?
his testosterone is like 700 points. I don't know what the units are, but it's
What's
700. Normal being like 400 or 500 for like an average aged male.
So naturally, he's at 700.
Naturally, he's at 700. To find 700 in a natural person, you're looking at like teenagers.
Okay.
So he's 70 with the testosterone of a teenager. Like, and that's just natural. So there are people out there like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you were to artificially bump yourself up there, you'd be in a good place at 70.
Could you, like, as far as sports concerned, have a point system? So, like, okay, everyone's allowed to get to this point,
Oh yeah, so
testosterone-wise.
they kind of have that. So as far as I'm aware in MMA, if you go to your doctor and your doctor says, "Oh yeah, you have low levels of testosterone. We can bump you up." They'll give you testosterone, and then you go into your training camp and just like train hard out and get beaten down. Any normal person, their testosterone's going to tank. But your doctor's he just keeps
Yeah.
injecting you, and you just keep going.
And is that legal to keep you at a certain point, like to keep you up above low?
I think they've made it now illegal.
Okay.
But it used
to be legal.
used to be legal so long as you went through the proper channels. Like your doctor said, yes, you have low testosterone. We are allowed to bump you up. So maybe you set a limit.
Yeah.
And where's the limit? You find the guy with the most testosterone naturally. He's got like 1,000 points. And you're like, okay, you're allowed to go to 1,000.
Yeah.
And then you find the guy who has like the highest amount of oxygen carrying capacity, or like hematocrit or something. You're like, okay, you can get to there. And now we have a level playing field. Like you can say, okay, these are levels we can reach. And either you're there naturally or you're there
Enhanced.
artificially.
We don't care, but that's your level.
Yeah,
I
that'd be
think
pretty
that's
cool.
a potential way of doing it. But then someone's always going to try and cheat it.
Oh yeah, you'd have guys cheating. Like you'd bump up to like 2,000, and when you're going to test, you'd let it level back off.
Yeah.
There's always going to be cheating.
Yeah.
So why not just let them go hard and have their cocaine breaks?
Yeah. Just say, fuck it, do what you want.
Yeah.
If you die, it's not up to us.
A lot of people that have been competing in Pride, the MMA
Yep.
events, they try and transfer over to UFC where they're a lot stricter on testing, and you can see a lot of them struggle because Pride's untested, and you can tell they just take whatever, go
Yeah.
hard, and once they get to UFC, a lot of them have you can see they're fading.
Is
Yeah.
Pride
I
more
can't-
enjoyable to watch?
It's different. It's like no, they're both good.
Yeah.
The rules kind of helped UFC because you stop having freaks just beat each other to a pulp, and you put some gloves on, you make it more technical, and more people are willing to watch it. Like boxing, you don't really beat the guy to a pulp. You just beat him. And
Yeah.
when UFC changed to be more like that,
Yeah,
they just
yeah.
rocketed off.
Yeah.
I think it's like fastest growing sport.
Yeah.
So as far as I'm aware, they've changed their rules.
Was
Like,
UFC always round based? Or was it sometimes just go for it?
I don't know. Maybe in the real
I think it
early
was always
days,
rounds.
Okay.
it was just go for it, or maybe it was like 15-minute rounds or something.
Fuck.
I'm not sure.
I just pass out. Be so
Oh
tired.
man, a 3-minute round of sparring in MMA is just brutal.
Yeah.
It's so freaking hard.
I'd like to see you guys do it.
Uh,
Spar MMA style.
I've never sparred with Jason
Haven't
in
you?
MMA. No. Did you do any MMA training?
A couple of times.
Ah.
Oh, he's got you beat.
We should try. We'll just go bare knuckle.
Bare knuckle,
yeah.
yeah, that's it.
And no pants?
No clothes.
Okay, crotchless pants.
No, we'll go like real ancient Roman style.
Yeah. Will you jab each other on the ass beforehand?
No. You can oil us both up.
They'll have all his drugs ready.
Oh yeah.
yuck.
Yeah, I'm going for it.
Yeah, fuck yeah. You're not
All
going to
this
lose to
cocaine,
Jason.
you just pass out and be like,
Oh man, I'll go hard until I have a heart attack.
and then I'll win.
Okay, that's the thing with the drugs though. Like, you're telling people they have to take this. There are the health risks behind it as well. So it's almost forcing people to die young, effectively. Like, because if you want to perform at this level, you have to take all of this. Even if initially, if it wasn't the case that it was open, they wouldn't have.
I'm glad we're back on topic.
Yeah.
And like where that was going.
Yeah.
So
I found my window to bring it back.
so I think that you want your people to have
To be healthy.
pretty good careers.
Yeah.
Because the other thing is the All Blacks. Guys can be there for like 10 years? Maybe.
I don't know.
Well,
Like they're not as strong, they're not as fast.
They're
just
experienced, though.
better.
Yeah.
And so you don't want guys to do like half a season and then have a heart attack because they took too much pee or methamphetamine.
I don't know.
There are, it's like, but that's the
Performance
thing. There's
enhancers.
always there's always the health risks to these drugs, and which is why they're banned in the first place. Really, is because of what they've been seen to do.
They're
wrong.
not banned for the health risks. They're banned because they performance enhance. Like they're banned because they work, not because they're dangerous.
That's how they justified it, though. They justified it by them being dangerous.
Well, I think it was the Americans that really pushed for the worldwide ban, and they banned it because it was apparently un-American. Like, yeah.
Okay.
So they banned it because it's cheating, not because it's dangerous.
Okay.
And so, but it is dangerous.
Yeah.
Like at some points, it becomes dangerous. The thing is, I think you want your people to live. Like you want them to keep playing and doing well, but there are long-term.
But also
side
outside
effects.
of when they've finished their career. You don't want them left like all fucked up in like Igor or some shit like that.
Like
people
man boobs and stuff.
already
Yeah.
do. Like you have boxers
Tiny
who-
ass
who
penises.
talk like this because they've been hit in the head too many times.
That's just you normal.
Like, like there's boxers who get real
messed up. Yeah.
and there's
So you're saying there's risks to every sport.
oh yeah, I can't remember which MMA guy it was. I can't remember who it was. He can't stand when the American football guys start complaining about their head injuries because they get really bad head injuries and they suffer really badly afterwards.
Yeah.
But they got paid for that. They got paid really well.
Yeah.
And they
go in knowing these risks.
Yeah, they blow out their knees and stuff. They get paid real well. They get paid millions of dollars, and they know the risks. And when
And they aren't complaining at the time. They're complaining afterwards because they got nothing better to do.
yeah, but actually, I think a guy, it might have been, an Australian guy has just quit rugby league for health reasons because he doesn't want to take so many head knocks.
Yeah.
The thing is,
Is
so
that
long
like
as
a quota? You're allowed this many head knocks.
you
per season.
know the risk, And so the same thing will be true with the drugs. Like,
Yeah.
these drugs will eventually have these likely side
And it
effects.
opens the education lines up as well.
Yeah.
Professional education lines, not just the dude at the gym. No,
Yeah.
that's sweet as.
Yeah, you'll be fine, bro. It's
Yeah.
all good. You'll be fine.
Want these cannons? Take this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the drugs are different though, because although you're aware head knocks can happen, taking the drugs, like, there could be a lot of pressure on you from
Yeah.
the organization, because if you're not going to take them, someone else
You
can
get
take your
fired.
place. Whereas
Yeah.
you could be the best at your sport and you don't know that you're going to get a head knock or anything. Like, it just can happen. But the drugs can really mess you up.
Yeah, I think though
Yeah.
you'll just have to meet a standard. Like, can you meet the standard? Are you good enough?
And if it's open to testing, you can see these. You can find like safe limits,
Yeah,
stuff like that as well, or safe-ish limits.
yeah.
And
Like-
then you can like start working around that, and then make it so that they come out after their career actually not worse off.
Like, if you can make the limits without taking drugs, that's fine. You don't have to take drugs.
Yeah. So we're set on sort of like that idea of a limit,
Yeah.
and this different aspects like oxygen count and all that sort of shit is a potential way forward.
But I think the thing
Because
is not.
we have the ability to change it. Us three.
Yeah. those like physiological markers are not the markers they're looking for.
No.
They're looking like, can you play the sport well?
Yeah.
And if you can do that without drugs, you're in. But if you need drugs to get there, then you have that choice to make.
Yeah.
And that choice is already there, but it's, do you go and see Vinny in the changing room for your steroids?
Hey, what do you got against Vinny? I'm going to tell him now.
Because he's bigger than me.
What was that question? There's a question that they asked Olympians. I think it was, if you could take a substance to win,
Would
but you knew it would take 5 years off your life, would you still take it?
I think it was if they would die in 5 years.
Die in 5 years, was it?
Yeah, it was pretty extreme.
So it's
Wasn't
almost
it-
like they're performing for their legacy.
Yeah.
And how many, it was like over half said yes, I'm pretty sure.
I
think
it was
that's what
50%.
like sort of the Lance Armstrong thing would have been like as well. He's like, take this, you'll win.
Yeah.
And then he does it. He's like a god for that amount of time. And now it comes out that he's cheating, gets them all taken away. Do you still want those titles and then lose them, or
I think
do you
that
still
he
want that
should keep his
experience?
titles. Like,
With the
he
asterisk.
won.
Everyone
Oh,
else
yeah,
was doing
yeah.
it. He wasn't the only one.
But but the thing is, that doesn't matter. He was the one that got sort of.
Give him an asterisk. Or whatever.
What, are you gonna tell the next guy down the line that wasn't cheating, that they found it wasn't?
They're
and
going to
give
go
him
down to
an-
like 10th place.
And then, but then are they going to sort of like, okay, you actually won. You didn't actually get to experience everything that came associated with winning.
I think
But
Lance
here's your jersey.
Lance Armstrong won. He won on a level playing field. Like, he beat everybody else who was cheating as well.
Yeah.
Like, he won legitimately.
But he got caught.
But he got caught. So I think we like to hang him out to dry because he was
As
cheating
an example,
apparently.
it's like an example to sort of deter others.
Yeah, I think there was a whole lot of dodginess along with him being a bit of a dick.
Okay.
Yeah, he was
Maybe.
pressuring others to do it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like pressuring people to not tell on him.
Yeah.
But he won. Like, he was the best.
And he lost a
Again.
testicle for his country.
Yeah.
That's why it's faster.
Yeah.
Less weight.
Yes, wait.
Yeah. So I think I agree with the fact of finding that level and building up to it, and not trying like legally not so bad, and having it in a structured manner. You know, by doctors and stuff like that, and
I think that'd be reasonably safe. I mean, you're still gonna have.
you're still going to have it,
people
but it's
cheating.
just the education lines are open. Stuff
Although,
like that.
if you find out the upper natural level, there's nothing to say that adding more will do anything.
And then you can do the tests around that.
Yeah. And the upper level of testosterone, the like superhuman has that. If you give that guy more testosterone, will it do anything for him?
Yeah.
Probably not, would be my guess.
Yeah.
Like, he's probably got too much already.
It's hard to know. Without testing.
Well, yeah, because
The thing is,
you
that, and
can't
once again,
test
you
because
can't
it's
test 'cause
illegal.
So that's why we have to go to like fucking Namibia
Yeah.
and start testing people there.
Well, the guys go to
I
Mexico.
don't know why I picked Namibia. But...
You can go to Mexico.
Poor Namibia.
Then I find they've got real strict steroid laws. Oh shit.
You go to Mexico and you go to a vet and you're like, yeah, my dog's real sick. He's really anemic and needs steroids.
Dog steroids would be different, wouldn't they?
Oh, they're the same.
Oh, okay.
And so the guy writes out your prescription.
I
He's
want
like,
Chewy to be
here,
jacked."
here's the prescription for your dog.
Yeah.
And you're like, mean. And you smuggle them over the border and inject them in your ass at home. Like, that's how a lot of people get their steroids.
Why does it go in your house?
Biggest muscle group,
Yeah.
I think.
And it feels good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I
So
think
would
we've hit time. So I'm going to agree with Blair, personally.
Yeah, of course you will.
I always win.
But your argument at the start was nah.
Nah, it's bad and immoral.
Yeah. So
I'm sure
Blair-
I heard Jason say immoral.
I didn't say
Just
that.
like, does Blair, do you want to do your thing, Blair?
What's my thing?
Your sign out
I have a sign out?
of the like.
Oh yeah. Find us on Facebook. We're on Facebook. Find us on YouTube. Like, favorite, subscribe.
Serious issues.
Serious issues on Facebook. Serious issues on YouTube.
Yeah.
Serious issues not on Twitter
Yet.
yet.
One day. Okay, and I've got the next topic already lined up.
Oh.
So this next topic, which you have to argue, is polygamy.
Mean.
All right.
I don't even know what that is.
The ability to have multiple wives.
Oh, you shouldn't have told him.
Here we
Jason
go.
is for, and Blair's against.
Typical
Oh,
Blair.
yeah. Okay. I can do that.
Yeah. And we'll catch you later.
See ya.
Cheers, guys.